Welcome everybody to this demonstration. A complete breakdown on how a civil lawsuit will work in the Shanquella Robinson case. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Everything that you hear in this video that I call a demonstration is only the opinions of mine and others. Everything that you hear in this demonstration is only allegedly. Salute to the chat. Salute to the chat. I see everybody down there in the chat. Salute. I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. So, what is a civil lawsuit? What is a civil lawsuit? A civil lawsuit is a type of legal case that is brought by a private party. A person or company can file a civil lawsuit. The goal is to try to use the legal system to right a wrong or pursue a legal remedy for something that caused damage. Now, we know that a little while ago, Sue Ann Robinson mentioned that she may have to file a civil lawsuit. She didn't say she's going to file a civil lawsuit. She said that she may file a civil lawsuit. Now, it says the goal is to try to use the legal system to right a wrong or pursue a legal remedy for something that caused damage. I like this where it says the goal is to try to use the legal system to right a wrong. There has been several civil suit cases. One particular was the O.J. Simpson case. Rest in peace to O.J. Simpson. That was a good, in my opinion, that was a good example of how these civil suits work. We know that criminally, he was found not guilty, criminally. However, they sued him in civil court, and he was, in fact, held responsible for his ex-wife and her boyfriend death. I know it's not the justice that people first seek out. I mean, the first justice that people seek out in these cases is that the individuals or individual that's responsible for taking the life in this particular case, O.J. Simpson case, along with Shanquella Robinson case, the first, accountability would be to hold them responsible criminally. Now, when we look at the Shanquella Robinson case, we know that there were allegedly 6 individuals that were present. We saw on one video one of those individuals out of the 6 that, according to Mexico's law, is the main aggressor. Now, many of us, including myself, feel like the reason why they say the main aggressor is because there were other individuals attacking Shanquella. Many of you all said that y'all seen footage of Winter allegedly body slamming Shanquella And after she body slammed Shanquella, Shanquella didn't get up. So now when Sue Ann made mention of she might have to file a civil suit, this would at least hold them responsible in civil court. Now, many of you have said to me, Shank, it really wouldn't do no good because none of the Cabo 6 members have any money. So I said, well, we're going to see how that's going to play out. How would it play out if the individual or individuals that you're suing in civil court, how will it play out if they are found guilty and if they don't have any money? All right. Now we have civil versus criminal cases. It says the U.S. court system is divided into both civil courts and criminal courts. In criminal courts, the state pursues a case against a defendant when the defendant has allegedly broken the law. Usually, a prosecutor or a district attorney decides to move forward with pressing charges after receiving evidence from law enforcement suggesting a crime has been committed. Criminal penalties includes fines, community service, jail or prison time, or even the death penalty under extreme circumstances. A civil case is different. Private parties, such as an individual, business, or organization, files a civil lawsuit. The person or entity that files suit is called the plaintiff, and the person the suit has been filed against is called the defendant. The remedies available in a civil case are typically monetary, with the defendant having to pay the plaintiff if the plaintiff wins their case. It is not just the outcomes that differ in criminal versus civil cases. In a civil case, the plaintiff has a lesser burden of proof than a prosecutor does in a criminal case. A plaintiff in a civil case must prove their claim by a preponderance of the evidence, while a prosecutor in a criminal case must prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt. This means in a civil case, a plaintiff must show that, given all the evidence, the defendant most likely engaged in action or inaction for which the plaintiff should receive a remedy. And I'll just give y'all my opinion on it. When it comes to the video that we saw, the main aggressor attacking Shanquella, that would be a no-brainer to prove you have a video. Now, it will come down to, can it be proven that in that video is the main aggressor? Because many of us aren't sure whether or not that's the main aggressor that's attacking Shanquella. Many of us feel like, yes, that's definitely the main aggressor attacking Shanquella. But the video would at least show that Shanquella is being attacked. That would at least show that that's Shanquella being attacked. Now it will go as far as, how would the other members in the Cabo 6, how will they let it play out? Will they point the finger at the main aggressor? Of course, that's what we all are hoping that will happen, because if they point the finger at the main aggressor, then the video, along with any one of those witnesses' testimony, would definitely have the main aggressor responsible. Example of civil lawsuits. There are many different examples of situations in which someone can file a civil lawsuit. A plaintiff could sue for breach of contract when someone failed to live up to an agreement. This doesn't talk about Shanquella's case. So it comes down, it says a plaintiff may sue under tort law after being injured. For example, a plaintiff can sue a doctor who committed malpractice and harmed them, a product manufacturer who caused damages by releasing a dangerous product, a negligent driver who caused a car crash, a property owner who failed to maintain their property and caused injuries. There are just a few of many situations in which a plaintiff could pursue a legal remedy in civil suit. As I said earlier, I like to go back to the O.J. Simpson case. And it's been many, many years, so y'all would probably have to help me out. But we're just going to cover the basics. He was found not guilty in criminal court. However, he was found liable in a civil suit, in civil court. Now, how to file a civil lawsuit. If you are thinking about filing a civil lawsuit, there are some steps you have to take in order to do so. Here's what you should do if you want to go to civil court. Salute to the chat. I do see everybody down there in the chat. Salute to the chat. And also, 1 week from now, next Saturday, from 12 noon until 5 p.m., me, along with members in the Rock Squad, we are having our second annual meet and greet. Also, we will be releasing balloons at Shanquella's gravesite. So if any of you all are interested in coming out for this event on Saturday, October the 26th, drop a 1 in the chat or leave a 1 in the comment section, and either Beautiful Nightmare or Miss Parker will reach out to you. We will be eating, we will be playing games, and we'll just be fellowshipping, you know. And then from 4 to 5, we will release the balloons at Shanquella's gravesite in honor of the late, great Shanquella Robinson. So if it's anyone that is interested in participating, just drop a 1, and Beautiful Nightmare or Miss Parker will reach out to you. So, how to file a civil lawsuit. Make sure you have legal capacity and grounds to sue. You must be an adult of sound mind, and you must have suffered an actual wrong that resulted in damages you can be compensated for. Hire a lawyer. A civil lawsuit can be very complicated. You need a qualified attorney to guide you through the process and help you file the correct court paperwork and gather the necessary evidence. Now, this is something that I want everybody to pay close attention to. It says a civil lawsuit can be very complicated. You need a qualified attorney to guide you through the process and help you file the correct court paperwork and gather the necessary evidence. Now, when it comes to a civil lawsuit pertaining to Shanquella, many of you feel as though Sue Ann hasn't been doing a good job. Well, I never heard her say that she was going to file a civil lawsuit. You all can correct me if I'm wrong. I only heard her mention that she may think about filing a civil lawsuit. And even then, it says a civil lawsuit can be very complicated. It does say you got to file the correct court paperwork and gather necessary evidence. It says determine who to sue. There may be multiple potential defendants against whom you can pursue a claim and seek a remedy. For example, if a drunk driver caused you to be hurt in a car crash, you could sue the driver as well as the bar that served him a drink when he was already intoxicated. Now, how does this play out when it comes to the Cabo Six? We definitely know that they could sue the main aggressor. Okay? Who else? Who else? What other members in Cabo Six can they sue? I know, Shank, sue all of them. Well, that's not how it works in the court of law. That's not how it works in a civil lawsuit. And those are the things that we have to pay close attention to. Sure, I want all 6 of them charged with the M word, but it's going to be unlikely whether or not all 6 will be charged with the M word. So it comes down to what can be proven. And if you notice, even in these homicide cases, a lot of times the prosecutor, they will seek manslaughter charges. They will seek the M2 or M3 because proving the M1, it can be difficult. And so a lot of times in these homicide cases, and this is in criminal court that I'm speaking of, a lot of times, and we wonder why the state made a plea bargain with the defendant, because the state felt as though proving their case would be difficult. But Shank, they know so-and-so did it. Remember, it's not what you know in the court of law, it's what you can prove. So when we looking at this civil suit, it's what you can prove. Definitely, I believe, without a shadow of doubt, it's easy to prove that the main aggressor, at least one of them, right? So, so file a lawsuit in the court. It says you must file your case in the court with jurisdiction over the claim. Jurisdiction is legal authority to hear the case. You need to file the correct paperwork with the court within the statute of limitations. The time limit the state sets for claims like yours. Usually, you must include a civil cover sheet, summons, and complaint as part of your court paperwork. I will read PM Channel's comment. No disrespect to the chat, but PM Channel, salute to PM Channel. She, along with other content creators, has been covering this case close-knit. Let me just read PM Channel's comment. Salute, PM. PM says, yes, attorney Sue Ann Robinson specifically stated she would file a civil suit against Cabo Six, which she included the Justice Department and the Charlotte FBI. It was a bit ambitious, but she said it. Okay, well, appreciate you for clearing it up. So now it comes down to her filing the correct paperwork within the statute of limitations. Okay? Now it says collect evidence. You must make sure you have enough evidence to prove the elements of your claim. You can gather evidence during the discovery phase by requesting documents and information from the defendant and deposing, conducting formal interviews under oath, the defendant and witnesses. You may also need to hire experts to testify on your behalf. Proceed with your case. Usually, pretrial conferences are scheduled during which you and the defendant have the opportunity to discuss settlements. If your case doesn't settle, you go to trial to present your case and satisfy your burden of proof. After the judge or jury has made a decision on your claim, either you or the defendant may try to appeal if you do not like the outcome. When you have exhausted all potential avenues to appeal, then your case has reached a final solution. All right, now, and I'll get you all opinion. Who do you all feel if there is a civil lawsuit to be filed? Whom do you all feel Sue Ann and them, or whoever files the civil lawsuit, who do you think they will have a solid case against? And explain why. Do you feel as though in a civil lawsuit that all 6 members of Cabo 6 would be held accountable? Or do you feel 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe 5? Do you feel as though all of them would be held accountable in a civil lawsuit? In a civil lawsuit, the goal is to be made whole for any damages you endured. In a breach of contract claim, this includes all financial loss caused by the breach and any resulting damages that occurred due to the defendant's failure to go forward with the contract as agreed. In a civil claim based on personal injury, you are compensated for all actual losses as well as for physical and emotional pain you endured. This can include payment for medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering, and emotional distress. What are y'all thoughts? Whom do you believe will be held accountable in a civil suit? Whom do y'all feel would be liable in a civil suit? For those that just pulled up, I'll read the definition of a civil lawsuit again. A civil lawsuit is a legal process by which a person or entity can hold another person or entity liable for some wrong, injury, or damage. If the party who filed the lawsuit is successful in court, the other party may be ordered to pay monetary damages, or he may gain some other advantage. There are many reasons for and topics of civil lawsuits in the United States. To explore this concept, consider the following civil lawsuit definition. PM says all of them, but Dejanay as the main aggressor, since she was the one on film assaulting Shanquella. I do agree. I do agree. I would like to see all of them be held accountable, but I definitely would like to see Dejanay. It says, definition of civil lawsuit. A noun, a non-criminal court case involving a dispute between private parties, businesses, or entities and seeking payment for damages or in order for a party to perform certain duties and obligations. What is a civil lawsuit? A civil lawsuit is a judicial proceeding that arises when an individual or entity files a petition seeking payment from another individual or entity for some wrong. In general, the party following the lawsuit is the plaintiff, claims that another person or entity, the defendant, is legally responsible for some type of damages caused by the defendant's wrongful acts. Civil lawsuits can be brought for many types of situations, such as contract disputes, evictions, injuries sustained through negligence or recklessness, and unpaid debts when a person files a civil lawsuit. A civil trial takes place in which a judge or jury decides whether the defendant wronged the plaintiff and whether damages should be awarded. All right. Now, for all of us that has been following the case, and I do believe it's millions of people that have been following this case, and millions of people have saw that attack video. That right there, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. Shanquella was attacked. There was no agreeing to any fight. We saw that Shanquella did not fight back. Not only did we see Shanquella not fight back, we heard her say when someone in the room made reference to her, at least fight back. Shanquella said no. So that part we got. You cannot convince me, along with millions of other people, that Shanquella agreed to that fight. We know that she was attacked. Now, in a civil suit, when it comes to the compensation part, do you feel as though monetary gain would compensate for one's life? In my opinion, H to the ELL, no. No money, no dollar amount can bring back any individual or individuals that lost their life. But if you're not able to get them in criminal court, get them in civil court. Now, could it be that if there's a civil suit filed, and this is what I've always wondered, if there's a civil suit, and you all can answer me, help me out, if there's a civil suit filed, and if the individual or individuals are held responsible in civil suit, would that be considered some form of double jeopardy if in return they are prosecuted in a criminal court? Maybe somebody can help me out. Like, it's almost like being charged of a crime 2 times. Karen says no. Snoopy says, Shank, how are you not to interrupt? I'm doing good, Snoopy. I appreciate you all for pulling up. I'm doing good. Salute, Miss Parker. Salute to the chat. Miss Groovy says all of them, but DJ because she was the one in the video, but all parties except Nazir was there during the fight. Nazir became a part when he left Mexico with them. Do you all feel as though Nazir, do you all feel as though Nazir should be held accountable in civil suit? Nazir arrived the next day. So do you all feel as though Nazir should be held accountable? Curran says accessory after the fact. Marie says all of them. Miss Groovy says no. Amber says, you mad? What happened? Did he? Well, see, I'm glad that I got moderators down there in the chat. I'm glad I do got moderators down there in the chat. And because I've dealt with these trolls for so long, I no longer entertain the trolls. I just let my moderators and the rest of the Rock Squad handle the trolls. So moderators and Rock Squad, handle y'all business with the trolls, however you choose to. PM says, yes, he went along with the lies and accessory. Beautiful says, absolutely, because he admitted he was protecting certain people because they had kids. That's what I want to have a long talk with Nazir about. Now, like I said, some things was proven that he was telling the truth, but that right there, Beautiful Nightmare, I can't get with that. That don't sit right with my spirit. Curran says at some point he became privy to the situation. I agree. Miss Groovy says yes, not to the extent of others, but he still needs to be held accountable. Because my honest opinion, I do believe that Nazir is the key to the puzzle. And that's just my opinion. It's been proven that he wasn't there on Friday when the alleged attack took place. However, the FBI, according to the FBI, and Nazir's mother did say, my son cleared his name up. According to the FBI, all of the frenemies said that Shanquella agreed to the fight. Beautiful says you shouldn't let her rock. So my thing is, did Nazir say Shanquella agreed to the fight? And then, as Beautiful Nightmare says, Nazir says, they got kids. He don't want to see their kids away from their mom. He don't want to see the parents away from kids. Well, what about Shanquella? What about Shanquella? And what about Shanquella's family, Nazir? That don't sit right with my spirit. Because you know what happened to Shanquella. You know who did what. Because when you got there, somebody told you. When you got there, somebody told you. And according to you, they shouldn't have done that. This is your words. Y'all don't do that. Do what? Do what? Right there, that part right there. Out of your mouth. Miss G says, she did not fight back. It was premeditated. Sabrina says, this is such a sad case. Miss Groovy says, well, Shanquella was somebody's child too. And that's facts. That's somebody's child that parents will no longer be able to, in the physical, talk to. Shanquella's parents will no longer be able to talk to her in the physical. Shanquella parents don't have their daughter in the physical. You know what happened to Shanquella was wrong. See, we can nip it all in the bud. We can nip it all in the bud. Salute Chin. It's a right and it's a wrong. And this is why you have the baby oil man situations. Same scenario. When people, like Nazia, when people should have came forward and protected these victims, when people should have came forward and exposed baby oil man, they did what? They turned a blind eye and let baby oil man continue in his mess. And then what happened? One victim turned into at least 120 victims. Salute, Alan. See, that's the one thing that you got to always keep in mind. When you turn a blind eye to somebody's BS, when you overlook what somebody else have done just because it's not done to you or somebody close to you, what you're doing is you are setting the stage for this individual to have more victims. Salute, Raw. You don't know what is going on when it comes to Cabo 6. We don't know. And usually when an individual commits one homicide, usually that individual go on to commit more homicides. Usually when an individual sexually assaults a woman or a child or even a man, usually that individual goes on to sexually assault more victims. Right? Snoopy says, I'm still in the land of the living. I can still receive it. Keep your head up and don't get discouraged and never settle for less than you deserve, Miss Parker. So now Nazia is prime time. You know, like I said, some things, okay, he wasn't there. It was proven. He wasn't there. But now, as we go deeper into this, it's been 2 years. Shanquella hasn't received justice. And if it's anyone out of the Cabo 6, everyone, including myself, everyone is leaning to Nazia for Nazia to come forward. You could crack the case wide open. And that's why many people call Nazia a liar. That's why many people have issues with Nazia. Kern says, but why wasn't he there? They planned this trip months ahead of time. And why did the others back out? I don't know, Kern. I wish I had the answers to that. I don't know. So now it comes down to, in a civil suit, will Nazia be held accountable? Like, how will that play out in a civil suit? We definitely know Dejanay definitely going to be held accountable. Now it comes to Kalia. Will Kalia be held accountable? Will Kalia be held accountable? That was the BFF. He lied. He lied to the mother. See, when it comes to the criminal case, for me, it's a no-brainer when it comes to the criminal side of this. Mexico issued the warrant. And to this day, the warrant is still there. Mexico. So I don't have the issue with Mexico because Mexico do have a warrant. They did issue a warrant. Some of y'all say, but Shank, Mexico not pushing the issue. Good point. I don't know. And we don't know if Mexico is pushing the issue or not. But if Mexico isn't pushing the issue, good point. Now you have the feds. You have the FBI. Why did the FBI come back and say that they won't be prosecuting any of them because they all agreed, they all said that Shanquella agreed to the fight. Right? So now in this civil suit, I want us to all focus on the civil suit. I want us all to focus on the civil suit. It's sad. You know, it's sad. It's sad. And I appreciate you all for pulling up on my Shanquella Robinson's demonstrations. I appreciate all of y'all opinions and perspectives and information, because at the end of the day, it's only about one thing: justice for Shanquella Robinson. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about him. It's about the justice for Shanquella Robinson. That's what I stand on. And I'll continue to stand on justice for Shanquella Robinson. She has to receive justice. You can't convince me that she deserved to lose her life. You can't convince me. No one has convinced me up until this day that Shanquella deserved to lose her life. You just can't convince me. And we could chop it up about this. We could chop it up about that. But convincing me that Shanquella deserved to lose her life can't convince me. It was wrong. It was wrong. Her family deserves justice. Shanquella deserves justice. We might have our disagreements when it comes to the family. Many of you have your opinions when it comes to the family. I can't control that. I can't stop none of y'all from your opinions on the family. But I can say it's not about her family. Her father didn't unalive her. Her mother didn't unalive her. Her sister did not unalive her. That's my stand on it. But like I said, everybody is entitled to their own opinions. The family didn't unalive her. They didn't. Now, when it plays out, if it comes out that they did, then we got something to talk about. But I met her family. I met her father. I met her mother. I met her sister. I met her uncles. Nah. They love Shanquella. They love Shanquella. Once again, you all, this Saturday, October the 26th, from 12 noon until 5 p.m., we will be having our second annual meet and greet, followed by the balloon release for Shanquella Robinson. We will be going out to her grave, and we will be releasing balloons in honor of the late, great Shanquella. If you are interested, please drop a 1 in the chat or drop a 1 in the comment section, and Beautiful Nightmare or Miss Parker will reach out to you all. I appreciate you all with helping us reach our quota over here this week. We have met our $100 a week quota. Thanks to Ebet, The Full Life, and Tommy. I appreciate all of that. We got work to do, you all. We got work to do. We got work to do. Salute everybody, and I will see everybody back on the next demonstration. Chen says, I'm in Cali, but I'll be there in spirit. Miss G asks what state. PM says, thanks for your coverage, Shank. And thank you, PM Channel, as well as Miss Parker. Miss Parker is a content creator as well. Miss Parker has been covering the Shanquella Robinson case. So I just want to give Miss Parker and PM Channel they flowers for the content that they both do on Shanquella and that they have done on Shanquella Robinson. And flowers to all content creators that have been covering the Shanquella Robinson case. Salute to you all, and I'll see you all on the next demonstration. Salute, everybody.